intelligence services to perform.
It always has been.
You just heard from Senator Tom Cotton, a member of the Armed Services and Intelligence Committees, and he joins us now. Senator, welcome. Good to have you here this morning.
Good morning, Martha.
You know, there's a lot of broad conclusions that have been drawn from all of this, and I think in that question you were trying to get at the heart of it, because the discussion that has bubbled up subsequently from yesterday's hearing is that Vladimir Putin just really doesn't like Hillary Clinton, so he wanted to do everything in his power to make sure that she was not elected. Do you buy that?
Well, I have my doubts about that, Martha, in part because I don't think Vladimir Putin or any Russian diplomat or spy understood the American elections better than most American pundits did themselves. Almost everyone thought Hillary Clinton was going to win and Donald Trump was going to lose. But I think when we talk about what happened in the election, it's important to break it down and be specific, as I tried to be yesterday with Director Clapper. You hear some loose talk about hacking the election or attacking our democracy. We're talking about two specific actions here: hacking into the DNC and hacking John Podesta's email. Now, the motives for that might be hard to ascertain because, as you heard, ascribing motives to foreign leaders is among the very hardest tasks that we ask an intelligence service to do on anything. And if you have good evidence of that, it's often evidence that you simply cannot reveal because of the highly sensitive source and method of it. But the final question, in addition to what happened and what the motive was for what happened, is the impact it had. Director Clapper yesterday said that an intelligence service is not an election pundit. They can't assess the impact. I'm elected to office. I can. I don't think many people in Michigan and Wisconsin were paying attention to the gossip of a bunch of Washington political operatives. So unless they hacked into the calendar and canceled all those rallies for Hillary Clinton in Wisconsin and Michigan, I don't think it had any impact on this election.
Fair point. And, you know, thinking about that and going back to the heart of what we're talking about here, primarily, are these embarrassing emails, you know, that talked about groups of people in the country in a disparaging way, talked about religion, Catholicism in a way that some people thought was disparaging. But did it really matter to voters out there? And I wanted to pull up a poll that we took, which was right after the election. This is December 11 to 13. Russia's attempts to influence the presidential election helped. 59% said that the whole thing had absolutely no effect on their vote. I think that's a pretty important piece of information.
It is, Martha, and if any email controversy impacted the election, it wasn't Russia or their affiliates hacking into the DNC and John Podesta's email. It was Hillary Clinton's decision to create her own private email server, and then the subsequent investigation by the FBI into that server, which raised all the same questions that Hillary Clinton has justifiably faced for decades about her trustworthiness and her forthrightness. I mean, the Democrats need to look in the mirror and think about why they lost this election and stop blaming it on Jim Comey and Vladimir Putin and fake news and the Electoral College and all the rest. Meanwhile, we need to take seriously the threat that Russia poses to the United States. They ought not to have hacked into the DNC and John Podesta's email. They ought to pay a price for that. But that is just one small example of the many provocations and aggressions that Russia has taken against the United States and our interest over the last 8 years. Barack Obama is coming a little late to the conclusions that Russia is a genuine geopolitical adversary.
Yeah, hacking's been going on forever. It's an important problem. We obviously have to address it. We can't have any influence happening in our election, but we do need to be specific about what that influence was. I just want to ask you one more question about, he said it was the most aggressive action he had ever seen. This is James Clapper. He said not only is it about the emails, he said it's also about, quote, classic propaganda, disinformation, and fake news. Did you get any more detail on specifically what he meant by that and how that grouped with the emails made this so egregious?
I have not seen that. I've not seen the report that President Obama received yesterday and President-elect Trump will receive today. The intelligence committees will be reviewing it shortly, so I'll be interested in seeing all of the conclusions, but also the evidence supporting those claims. Again, though, I think all the claims like fake news and Vladimir Putin and Jim Comey are mostly crying over spilled milk. This election was decided in key states based on issues that matter to Americans, like job growth and wages, crime, law and order on our streets, and immigration. This is not based on inside gossip or so-called fake news.
It's fascinating. All right, we'll see how that meeting goes today. Senator Tom Cotton, thank you. Good to see you this morning.
Thanks, Martha.
Talking about that home-brewed server.